Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sthoko. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we're having some fun. We're playing with some makeup. Nothing serious, just a lot of makeup fun. This is my take on a winter inspired makeup look. It's just something about these colors to me that just screams winter, warmth, coziness. I know it's cold in winter, but you always want to feel like you are warm, you are cozy in winter. So that's why I associate these colors with winter. The chocolate brown on the lids, there's just something about the richness of these colors that I love very much. So get your makeup, get your hot chocolate, get your tea. Let's do this makeup look. All right, it's super cold here, so I have my tea next to me. I'm gonna be sipping on this tea while we're doing this makeup. Now that we're in this very cold winter, so I've already done my skincare and everything. Now we're just gonna go straight to makeup, but I just want to put you on to this cream if you are struggling with dry skin, especially in winter. I feel like in winter my skin becomes more of a combination because I still feel dry, but yet my skin is still oily. So for the dryness of my skin, this is the cream that I use in winter. This cream is super affordable. I don't think that it's more than 60 rands. It's so creamy, it's so rich, and yet it doesn't leave your skin feeling like, you know, you've got a thick layer of something on top of your skin. It leaves my skin feeling normal, but yet it leaves my skin feeling so nourished, and it keeps my skin like that the whole day. So I just quickly wanted to put you onto this cream if you haven't tried it. And sunscreen as well. We all know that we must always wear our sunscreen, whether it's in winter or summer. This is the sunscreen that I use, also from Nivea. It also has 48-hour skin moisture, so it also helps to keep my skin nice and moisturized and supple. So let's get straight into this makeup. I'm going to start by priming my skin using this primer from L'Oreal. It said to grip makeup, no shine, rebalances skin over time. So I'm just going to use this primer. By now you know that I only use a mattifying primer around this area of my face because that's where I normally get the most oily. Alright, and then for foundation, I have a number of different foundations here, but I'm going to stick to this stick foundation from Black Opal. Mine is in the shade Beautiful Bronze. I like this because it's a creamy consistency and it really does help to keep my skin, you know, nice and moisturized. It doesn't dry up my skin, and if you've seen some of my previous makeup videos, you will also know why I like to use a cream foundation as opposed to liquid foundations, for instance. I'm not saying that I don't use liquid foundations at all, but I like to use cream foundations much better than liquid foundations, especially in winter. I just think that stick foundations or cream foundations, they just look better on my skin. So let me just blend out this foundation and then we'll continue with the rest of the makeup. Alright, I think my foundation is blended nicely. As you can notice that I'm avoiding this area, the immediate under eye area. I don't really need to apply foundation in that area because I'm still going to apply concealer, and I don't want to have a lot of products in that area because it tends to crease. So let me do just that. I'm going to use this concealer from L'Oreal Paris in the shade 338. I'm going to use two concealers in my under eyes. One is to brighten up my under eyes, so I'm going to still use another concealer to brighten up that area. Right now I just want some coverage, so I'm going to let that dry a little bit so that I can get the most coverage without having to apply more and more products. So while that is drying, I'm going to quickly do my brows, and I don't really do much to my brows. I just fill them in where I feel like they need to be filled in. I don't really change the shape, I don't change the thickness of my brows. I don't do that. I just fill them in where I feel like there could be more brow hairs. So I'm quickly going to do that, and then we're going to blend this concealer. Alright, I think that is all that I'm going to do to my brows, except that I'm still going to put a little bit of concealer just to clean them up a little bit. Now I want to blend this concealer before it dries down too much. I also like to apply concealer here on my smile lines because I feel like that helps me with the smile lines. If you wear makeup, you know that sometimes, you know, as the day goes by, you can start to see your makeup settle in your smile lines and then they become more pronounced. I think that if I use concealer in that area, that does not happen. So that's why I like to apply concealer on my smile lines and let it dry before I blend it. So that's why you always see me apply concealer on my smile lines, because I don't want that to happen as the day goes by. The other thing that I'm going to do is to spray my makeup setting spray while I'm still blending. That is also just going to help make sure that my foundation just stays put, it does not move. I'm still going to set my face at the end when I'm done with everything. This is just going to give some reinforcement, you know, to make sure that the makeup stays in place, it does not move, and it's really gonna look nice. Now I'm going to blend. Let me use a brush today to blend this concealer, and I'm using a brush because I feel like a brush does not absorb too much of the product, therefore it gives you more coverage. I'm going to use the sponge at the end just to smoothen everything. I feel like if you just go in with a sponge, it tends to absorb a lot of product and then you don't get as much coverage. Then you might be tempted to go back and apply more product, which is what sometimes causes creasing, especially under the eyes. Alright, now I'm gonna go in with a damp sponge just to smoothen out the edges, make sure that there are no harsh lines. Alright, before we go on with the brightening concealer, let's just do the eyes first, because I'm gonna be using some dark shadows, so I don't want there to be some fallout that now I don't know what to do with. At least now I can still do something if I happen to have a bit of fallout. But I'm going to start with cleaning up underneath my brows. Let me just find a flat brush. I can't seem to find a flat brush. I'm going to use this LA Girl Pro Conceal because it has its own applicator. Okay, I'm going to let that dry down a little bit as well, so that when I blend it, it doesn't, you know, go into my brows. So while that is drying down a bit, I'm going to show you the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using for this look, because I want like a deep chocolate brown look. I'm just going to use only this palette from Makeup Revolution. I'm going to use this shadow here, this deep chocolate brown shadow, and this one as well, just to diffuse the harsh lines. I'm only going to be using 2 shades of eyeshadow to achieve this look. But on my lid, because I want the deep chocolate shade, I'm going to just reinforce that with this stick foundation from Revlon. It's in the shade 620. This is what I use normally to contour my face. So I'm going to use this on my eyelids. Let me blend this. I think that it's dried down a bit. I don't think that it's going to smudge that much. Let me blend it, and then we'll start with the shadows. Alright, I think that looks good. Now let's start with the eyeshadow. I'm going to start by applying a little bit on this area, just as a transition. I'm using this shadow, this deep chocolate shade. I'm not using a lot, I'm just using a little bit because I don't really need this area to be too deep in the brown shade. So I'm tapping in very lightly on that very shadow that I'm going to use. I washed my brushes yesterday, but I still feel like This brush has a bit of glitter that was left from when I used it previously, but there's nothing I can do about it at this stage. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to take this contour stick that I normally use to contour my face. I'm going to apply that on my lids because I want a very deep chocolate shade on my lids. So this is just some reinforcement to make sure that I get that deep chocolate shade that I'm looking for. And then I'm just going to blend this out. I'm using a flat brush to blend this out. Alright, now I'm going to go to my eyeshadow. Now I need a thinner brush. Now I'm focusing on the edge just to make sure that it's blended in with the transition that I did before. And I like to drag my eyeshadow out just for it to form a bit of a, you know, a wing. And then I'm just going to pat it on the lid just to set this contour stick that I applied on the lid. I just want to just diffuse the harsh lines a little bit, so I'm going to use this shadow here just to diffuse this harsh line just underneath my brow. And I'm using a clean fluffy brush to do that. Now I'm going to highlight my under eye. To brighten up my under eye, I'm using this Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I don't know what the shade of this concealer is. It was here but I can't see it now. So that's what I'm going to use to brighten this area. I don't really use a lot and I like to concentrate it right here. I don't want it to go out too much. So I'm just going to concentrate it right here. This is still to just give you that bit of brightness. Let me use a brush again to blend this out, and then I'm going to diffuse the harsh lines with the sponge. Alright, let me just immediately set my under eye before it starts creasing up, and I'm going to use this translucent powder or this loose powder in the shade Translucent Buff. This is from Yardley. I'm going to use a brush to apply this powder. I'm just taking off the excess to make sure that I don't just apply a pile of powder under my eyes, because that can also make you look like you are caking up. So I don't want that. That's why I'm applying a very light layer at a time. And then I'm also going to set the other areas that I applied concealer on. Okay, I know it looks a bit crazy right now, but it's gonna come together. Now I just want to contour my face a little bit. I'm going to use that same foundation stick that I've used on my lids just to intensify this chocolate brown shadow. So I'm just going to apply it where I want to contour my face. now I'm going to take the damp sponge just to diffuse any harsh lines between the different products before I set. I don't have any product on the sponge. I'm just diffusing these lines so that everything can just look nice and blended and just cohesive. Okay, to me that looks blended. Let me just wipe off this excess powder here. And now let me set. To set the contoured areas, I'm going to use this powder from MAC Cosmetics. It's a Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation in the shade NC47. I'm going to use the same brush that I used to contour my face. And then the nose as well. I'm going to use this brush. It's at a bit of an angle to contour my nose using the same powder from MAC Cosmetics. As you can see, I'm taking my contour all the way to the head of my brow because it just looks better that way. It just looks more cohesive and better that way, as opposed to just drawing lines on the side of your nose. Alright, I'm going to now set the rest of my face. Lately I've been enjoying applying blush before setting the rest of my face. So today I'm going to be using this blush from Yardley. It's in the shade Enna Apple. I just think that this shade is going to look really nice with this look that I'm going for. And you know, I like taking my blush up to my temples. I just think that it looks more cohesive. I know it looks like it's a bit much at this stage, but I'm still going to apply powder on top of it. That way it's going to tone it down a little bit. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to also take this blush and apply some of it on my lids because I just think that this blush shade is so beautiful. Then I'm going back to the chocolate brown shadow just to diffuse any harsh lines. This is exactly what I wanted. Now I'm going to take that shadow, like I said, I'm going to bring it down to my lower lash line just to make sure that this look is cohesive. Let me use this mirror here. Alright, now I'm going to set the rest of my face. Oh, I'm using this powder from Woolworth's Beauty. It's in the shade medium. I don't know if you can see that. To me, that just looks so much better than if you have blush on top of the powder. Having blush underneath the powder, it just looks so much better in my eyes. So that's why I liked applying blush before powder. If you feel like the pigment is not really what you wanted, then you can still go back just to give it that bit of a pop if you want it to show more. But there really is no need. I just think that it looks much better this way. That's just my opinion. I like doing it this way. Alright, let me quickly apply my lashes and then I'm gonna come back and finish this whole thing, do the lipstick, set, and have the final look. Let me just quickly stick on my lashes and I'll be right back. Alright, lashes are on. I've set my face with the very same makeup setting spray that I used earlier on, which is this Maybelline Lasting Fix setting spray. So my face is set, everything is done. The only thing that is left now is the lips. So I'm first going to line the lips using this Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil. I know it's an eye pencil, but this is just the perfect shade that I need for this look. It's in the shade Hot Chocolate. And then I'm going to use this second liner from Black Opal. It's in the shade Black Cherry. And then for lipstick, I'm going to use this lipstick from MAC Cosmetics in the shade Sin. Alright, and then I'm going to use this mini lipstick from Lancome. It's in the shade 196, just at the center of my lips. Alright, this is the final look. I'm so in love with this look. I love the colors. I love the richness of the colors. To me, it just feels like I'm cozy. I just feel warm. Just by looking at my face, I feel warm. So I hope you enjoyed this makeup look. This is the end of the video. If you did enjoy this makeup look, please do give the video a thumbs up and also share the video, and don't forget to click the subscribe button so that you can be notified every time whenever I post a new video. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.